Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. It's about 11:48 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This may end up being a longer one. There's a lot of stuff that I'm going to cover today in the crypto news. We've got stuff on Cardano, Algorand, Filecoin, Solana, a lot of stuff happening. So I figure you might as well touch on it for those of you that want to hang out for a little while. I've got a meeting coming up and it's a few hours with a crypto project that has expressed interest in working with me on some things, and I'll of course let everybody know if it's worth diving into. Let's see here. Alex is first in chat. What's going on? And Adam R, the two of you are. I want to know why some of you get first and second and third every day, and then there's so many that just never get a notification. Make sure you hit the notification bell when you subscribe if you don't mind. And I also know that, like, if you go into a live and you hit the like button and then you leave some sort of comment, which I know that the people who are generally always here first in chat, I know that you guys do that, and that might be why you get the notifications. I think YouTube just assumes that subscribing isn't enough. Like, you have to subscribe, and then you have to show up to the party all the time and bring chips. And if you don't do all of that, then you're off the invite list. I think that's kind of the way they look at it. So looking at Bitcoin right now, let's go to a daily chart. It's been really interesting, to say the least, because if you look at volume on the prices coming down, the majority of the volume has been bearish when you're looking at Bitcoin's price. And you can also see that, there's a lot of activity here basically holding the price up. And honestly, I feel like we're whittling through it. And, because if what I think is happening, then we're going to get another leg down. Here's the thing. I like to try and tell everybody, don't trade on what I do. I'm reading this right now. I'm always reading 5 different books at a time, but I'm reading this, How to Day Trade for a Living. And it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good. And there is going to come a time. Now, a lot of you guys know I've been trading and investing, and I've kind of done things my own way for years now. But I've never actually traded with a system. And it's something that I really want to do. I want to create a system by which I am executing trades, long and short, actually using stop losses, not using emotion at all, which we all know. I'm a pretty emotional dude. And I feel like I've gotten better. Wow, I look different on camera without my glasses on. Wow, I just look like an old man. I mean, the lighting here, I still haven't figured out my lighting. I've got 2 of these shut off and it still looks like hell. But anyway, I do want to do like consistent daily TA, but I want it to really matter. And I feel like the best way for me to do that is that I want to effectively be trading. And we'll get there. I haven't found any like this Wyckoff accumulation, distribution, the 4 different schematics and everything associated with it really does resonate with me quite a bit. And I know that there are other things as well. And I'm learning more about utilizing volume to dictate, what may be coming and all sorts of stuff. At some point, I'm going to have a badass system that I'm going to be able to educate with. And hopefully, invite people to join, and kind of how I do things, but I want it to really, really work. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But anyway, we're treading sideways a little bit on a daily candle. Let's look at a 1 hour real quick and we'll get to some news. Yeah. So it's more or less sideways. I mean, this is an hourly candle and I'm not seeing anything like it from here. Yeah, you can see this trend line that I created a while ago. And we've obviously come out of that, and now we're going sideways again. But yeah, I wish I could be more specific. I have been, but I have a little bit more of a macro expectation as to what's going on in the market, and not necessarily oh, we're going to go from 35 to 34 specifically, and here's why. That's just not what I'm looking for. Now this technically speaking, especially on a 4-hour chart, this would potentially be considered a very bullish sign here, at which point, you know, we would break up out of this, because typically when you run into a basically a sideways situation from very bullish momentum trends, then, you know, we go sideways and then we continue on up. But I just think there's a lot happening, and we're going to cover some of it now. Cardano's entry into the Sandbox game signals a new era for NFTs. We talked about this a little bit on BitBoy's channel last night, around the block. And, you know, for those of you guys and gals that saw me on there, we're, you know, making the comments and stuff. Thanks. I appreciate it. In a historic move, Cardano's Clay Nation NFT project is set to be integrated into the Sandbox game, marking the first time a Cardano project will be integrated into the popular blockchain-based game. Now, here's the question I have. I see the words integrated, and I'm curious because I don't fully understand what the term integrated means. Is it actually being integrated through the blockchain, or is Clay Nation just building a plot of land like a theme park in Sandbox? Because that to me isn't necessarily integrated. So that's kind of my question, and I haven't really seen anything that explains that very clearly. The Clay Nation stuff, I mean, it's cute. I really do like it. It's got that kind of eerie claymation kind of feel to it, and I think they're actually really cool. Oh, subscriber, well, thank you. Welcome. But I don't really fully understand what the term integration means as it relates to Sandbox. And so I am, until somebody tells me or shows me otherwise, I'm going to assume that this integration, where they're talking about interoperability and things like that, while it sounds like a blockchain integration of some kind, that, you know, I'm led to believe that Clay Nation is creating some sort of protocol or something as it relates to Cardano, and then through some sort of interoperability protocol, they're integrating into the Sandbox, which is an Ethereum-based system. But I'm going to guess that that's it's bunk. I don't think that's happening. I think this is likely, it's much more likely that is, you know, these guys are going to be building some sort of theme park on Sandbox and basically using the Sandbox to promote Cardano. Any way you slice it, it's a cool thing, but I just don't think that it's being worded properly. But that I could be wrong, so I don't know. 300 billion Shiba Inu dumped in 24 hours. Is worse for Shiba Inu just the beginning? You can tell these articles are like translated from another language or something. Exactly 300 billion Shiba Inu tokens have been sold by bankrupt crypto broker Voyager in the last 24 hours. According to the transaction data, the company received $3.75 million in proceeds from the sale of this volume of SHIB. In total, Voyager has sold 870 billion SHIB since February, raising more than $10.5 million in aggregate for them. However, assessing the broker's position in Shiba Inu tokens, it seems that the worst is yet to come. I'm surprised anybody's selling that right now for any kind of consistent value. ADA loses 10% weekly. Is 30 cents in play? And this goes into a bunch of technical gobbledygook that I don't ultimately think means a whole hell of a lot. But yeah, I think 30 cents is potentially in play. Let me just answer. Because, you know, I still think that it's very possible we hit a significantly new lower low across the board. So, you know, until we effectively close above $25,000, I would say 25.2, 25.3, something like that, in Bitcoin, I don't think, I think we're bearish. I mean, that's basically all there is to it. And I think that there are some definite differences in this cycle. I mean, you can see I drew this out. For those of you that watch me on a regular basis, you guys know I drew this Wyckoff pattern all the way back here. And it's more or less looking pretty daggone close to what I've been, what I painted out. You know, and this is a general pattern. This isn't supposed to be specific to the time, to the date, that's not what this is about. It's the general trajectory of the price action over time that this is supposed to demonstrate as it relates to an accumulation one pattern in Bitcoin's price. So that doesn't mean that this is going to happen, because we could come here, you know, around the 18,000 area, and then boom, just bounce right back. And then we've completely disregarded this whole spring and a new lower low, but it's definitely taken its sweet time to confirm either way. And generally, you're supposed to be able to tell based off of the initial sentiment of the pattern as to whether or not this is going to be more of a bullish transition or a bearish. But it's just not very clear. This could technically be assumed to be more of a bullish sentiment going into this pattern, but it's so tight that I'm not sure. And so, you know, we just have to wait and see how that plays out. But Algorand CTO gives update on recent exploit impacting multiple accounts. This isn't fun, really. Algorand shares update on recent exploit that affected over 25 different accounts. Algorand CTO John Allen Woods has shared an update on the thefts reported on MyAlgo wallets in the past week. According to Woods, the exploit, which impacted over 25 accounts, remains under investigation. However, while the investigation is ongoing, he advises MyAlgo hot wallet users to consider rekeying to a ledger or a third-party wallet as a precautionary measure. So if you are an Algo user and you haven't heard anything about this, you might want to swap out the wallet and rekey everything just to be on the safer side. And that's really the whole point of me doing that segment, just to let everybody know what's going on. Filecoin, which I've always liked Filecoin. I don't own any. Welcome, Pierino Kalia. I terrible with names. I'm so sorry. But at least I try. Oh, Mode Master DK just subscribed. I kind of like these little alerts. It's kind of uplifting in a way when I see new people that are joining the Crow's Nest family over here. Filecoin, which I think is going to grow quite a bit. I don't currently own any, but I really think I need to grab some sooner than later. Price looks set to resume its rally. We're just going to go over the little cliff notes here. Filecoin reclaimed the $5.30 horizontal support area. It created a bullish engulfing candlestick on the weekly time frame, and it broke out from an ascending parallel channel. Woo-woo. The Filecoin price is retracing after a sharp upward movement 2 weeks ago. The trend is still considered bullish. Here's the thing, and you are welcome, sir. I like Filecoin, but until I know exactly what's going on with Bitcoin and 25 grand and all that, I'm just basically averaging into my Cardano, because that, you know, listen, folks, and there's definitely potential in other projects. Yes, I'm wearing my Cardano shirt for those of you that don't know. It's funny how much bigger I look when I actually raise up a little bit. You can see just like how ginormous my frame actually is instead of just this big old silver head. But yeah, I'm definitely bullish on Cardano, even though, you know, with it currently trading around 30 cents, and the video I did yesterday that I'm sure most of you watched because it's been my most viewed video in I don't know how long. I mean, I think it's almost 20,000 views, or is it 10? I think it's almost 20,000 views if I'm not mistaken. And I just put it out yesterday. So, but basically I broke down how you get, how you can establish like price predictions based off of total market capitalization dominance and total market cap. And, we could see a $5 to $8 ADA, you know what I mean? But I don't think it's going to go much higher than that. And I think most realistically is probably $6. And I know, people are like, oh, Crow, you did a whole thing where you talked about Cardano being $8 someday. Anything is possible, and someday it definitely will. The video I did, I was thinking it was going to be in the 2021 peak, and we only peaked out at about 314. But we were also thinking that Bitcoin was going to go to like $200,000. So, and the video yesterday, I basically explained, there is a paid, it's like, you can join. It's like a little $2, it's like $1.99. And it's more for just like people that really support what I do. Because ultimately I'd love to get, 5 or 10,000 people. Could you imagine? I could legitimately, my goal is to basically build my paid YouTube memberships enough that I'm paying an assistant. I want to be able to hire an assistant so that I can really, really buckle down on my content, the research and my social media accounts and all of that. Every big YouTuber that's basically into the, hundreds of thousands of subscribers and their social media accounts are just booming. They all have teams, and I just don't have a team. I've never had a team. I've always done everything on my own. And, all of the big shots in YouTube, they've got teams that really kind of help tighten things down. Muster Beret just subscribed. Welcome. So anyway, that's the goal for that. And there's a $10 version too, but I just asked yesterday that I need to go check, like what benefits you? Like, what do you care about as a subscriber, as a paid member? What sort of things do you want to see? So that's basically what I'm working on. But anyway, I think Filecoin is going to play a really big role, especially as Web3 and metaverses continue to expand and grow. Solana's spam problem persists despite tech improvements. Despite efforts by Solana developers to discourage spammy transactions that could threaten to bog down the network, a majority of the network's compute is still being wasted on failed trades, according to an analysis by crypto infrastructure company Jito Labs. In one recent epoch, a time period on Solana roughly equivalent to 2.5 days, arbitrage transactions took up to 60% of overall compute space per Jito. These transactions were attempts by bots to win slim margins on competitive trades, and 98% of their attempts failed. Are people still buying Solana? I mean, isn't the thunder over? I mean, when you know that it was artificially pumped by VCs and FTX and all of that, and it's not going to ever hit $500 again. It was artificial to begin with. This blockchain has so many problems. Why is it still a thing? Like, this isn't even, in my opinion, a good meme token anymore. Like, this is just... I know that they spent a lot of money on basically funding applications to be developed to increase their use case potential, but let's be real. Wouldn't that be like building an application on a crumbling old bridge? I don't know. And I've seen other videos where like founding members are we're making comments about Cardano because Cardano insists on doing things perfectly from the beginning. And sometimes to be a successful engineer, you just have to throw some shit to the wall and see what works and then fix what doesn't. And I'm just like, this is insanity. I mean, this is greed. That to me is greed. If you're trying to truly build technology that's going to change the world and to be reliable and to build trust in the user base and to build trust in other developers and people that are going to basically invest time, money, resources, and more into developing on your blockchain, do you not want it to be absolutely perfect? I mean, like the sense that some of these jokers are making, it doesn't exist. And these are the kinds of issues that you run into. And listen, to each their own. If people see a speculative option here with Solana, then more power to you. I hope it treats you well, but as long as you realize like what you're actually dealing with, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors associated with that. And Listen, I've been talking about Solana and my, let's just say, disinterest in Solana long before the whole FTX debacle. I mean, it's just there are some projects that really rub me the wrong way, and the people that are involved in them rub me the wrong way. I am by no means perfect. I have liked projects that have gone bad. I have not liked projects that have done well, but let's just keep it real, shall we? Like, why? Let me know in the comments. Like, why? Are you still bullish on Solana for any reason? And if so, please let me know. Educate me. I would love for you to do that. SEC issued subpoena to Robinhood over its crypto operations. California Attorney General's office had earlier served a similar subpoena to the trading platform. Wow. Robinhood Market. I when I first got into trading stocks, I used the Robinhood app because it was, it was new and there are no fees and it's all basically paper. And yeah, I really liked it at the time, but then when the GameStop fiasco happened, I was like, ooh, I don't think I'll use Robinhood again. So Robinhood Market said it received an investigative subpoena from the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission in December. The agency's move is part of a major crackdown against the digital asset industry after the dramatic collapse of Sam Bankman-Fried's crypto empire last year. Don't you find that a coincidence, though? That, 1 minute, we're meeting with them, Gensler's meeting with SBF a lot, and they have all these meetings and they're seemingly like working together somehow. But the regulatory body in the US had no idea that all of these things were happening, that trading was happening the way it was, that tokens were being basically like created out of thin air, duplicated, if you will, to be used in trades and purchases of things. And there was just so much, like they're still uncovering things that were happening. But then suddenly we're using that as the it's not a false flag. I mean, it all happened, but like basically this disastrous scenario that now is ushering in, some dramatic regulation, which, listen, we've all known was coming. We just didn't know what was going to be the catalyst. Apparently, they're using the FTX, but at the same time too, let's put it this way. And I can sit here and I can say, oh, Gary Gensler met with them and they knew that all this stuff was going to happen. But, if it was going to happen, they want to be able to at least use it as a way to like establish regulation. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, how many other things have happened? I mean, you've got Celsius. Celsius was registered. Celsius was, from what I understood, Celsius was doing everything it was supposed to maintain compliance with the regulatory bodies and all of that. And look what happened there. You have all of these other hedge funds, all of these other groups of people that are dealing in billions of dollars, and what I believe to be very irresponsibly, okay? And if it wasn't FTX, what would it be? If it wasn't, I very much am, I have grown a lot more cynical about the crypto space over the years. I mean, having been around since 2017, and I've seen it all, and it's just like across the board. It's like, to me, it's like crooks chasing crooks. I mean, that's honestly how I look at a lot of crypto, because it has gone so far beyond the idea of technology changing the world, and everything is structured around how much money can be made quickly before the market tanks, right? And in that, because of the ease and ability for people to just throw, a bunch of money easily into smart contracts and pump out some tokens that may or not be worth something someday, the ease by which people can generate wealth beyond measure in a very easy and short period of time if they just chose the right horse, right? And it's like, we do need regulation, but we need regulation that is legitimate. We need regulation that isn't picking its battles after the fact. We need regulation that is laying out the guidelines and the frameworks for the way everybody should operate effectively on equal playing ground. That is what I believe should be happening, but we're not seeing that. And that's what makes it all so frustrating. There are things that you could have done in 2017, 2018, before any real regulation was in place, before anything was actually established or set in stone, and not have a clue that 20 years from now, that could have been looked at as bad, and then they're going to come back after you. And there are things that so many of these crypto companies are constantly having to defend themselves against, legitimate blockchain companies that just want to build new technology, and they're doing it in a very pure fashion, and yet they are looked at as bad seeds, bad actors, whatever. And my faith in so much of the cryptocurrency space, to be quite honest, I struggle all the time. It was a different animal when everything was new. It was a different animal from when, the technology, in my opinion, was a major driving force. Now it's just like everybody's trying to evade the SEC. Everybody's trying to go anonymous, and it's like, I'm sorry, but I don't trust anonymous protocols. I don't trust anything that's built by anonymous people looking to escape oversight. I just don't trust them. And I don't care if they use decentralized nature as an excuse, say, well, decentralized protocols, decentralized exchanges, I don't give a shit. Build a decentralized application. It's not decentralized doesn't necessarily mean anonymous developers that hold the keys to whatever assets are placed on this decentralized application, ready to be rug pulled, wiped, swiped, or stolen. That's not what it means. And so I just, man, I hate to say it. I don't care if Gary Gensler is some asshole that's looking to shut down the crypto industry for political gain, or because they're trying to fund themselves into being the I don't know. I don't know what the metrics are behind the scenes that say, listen, if you can come up with a way to go after the entire space effectively, then the job is yours. Or if you can generate X number of dollars in fees and fines and all sorts of things, then the job is yours. You know what I mean? I don't know what the metrics are behind the scenes that dictate who does what in the space. I know they obviously want to go after it. I don't know necessarily why they care so much about being the embodiment of all regulation in the crypto space, outside of it being more of a political issue. But I know that we need some regulation in the space, because I'm personally tired of getting wrapped up and getting interested in projects and blockchains and teams and people just to find out the whole thing was a sham. But the thing of it is that even if the SEC does regulate the entire cryptocurrency space, it doesn't mean that they're going to stop anything from happening. It just means that there are going to be more repercussions when something is discovered. And I'm not really cool with that either. I would love, you know what? I would love to. Maybe I want to get a job. I want to get a job at the SEC. I want to do something, because I want things to be more proactive. I want something that says, here's a project. You have to register your project. We need to know everybody involved in this project. And then you investigate these people and you say, okay, here's a license to further create or develop your application based on the fact that you're not criminals, you're not con men, you don't have history of hacking, that's honestly, is that an invasion of privacy, or is that protecting the people? Because we don't do anything to protect the people from bad actors right now. We just go after whatever is going to benefit them politically or financially right now. So it's so frustrating, because I do believe we need regulation, because there are just too many bad actors in the space trying to take advantage of people that are trying to make their lives better by investing in the ground floor at new technology that is going to change the world. And I believe everyone should have the right to do that. I don't think that we should put stuff into place that says, oh, you need to be an accredited investor. You need to make $200,000 a year for 2 years or have $1 million net worth in order to basically buy a shit coin you hope is going to 10x. I don't really think that's the case. I think we need to put money and resources in place that basically polices these projects to say, we know who you are. If we don't know who you are, you can't build. If we know who you are and you do build, you're going to do so honestly. Otherwise, we're coming after you. And it's not a crapshoot where everybody's just building a whole bunch of stuff and then the SEC just kind of picks and chooses who they want to go after. It's like, you know, here are the ground rules. Here's what you have to abide by. Here's the way you develop. Here, you want to start a hedge fund or whatever. Here's what you have to do. You want to do this. You want to do that. You register. You do things honestly, and you play a good. You know, that's the kind of stuff that we need. We need something outlaid so that everybody can follow the same rules effectively. And if you break those rules that have been laid out very clearly for all, then you have to figure out how to, you know, resolve that. So frustrating. Murder of Crows. Murder of Crows NFTs. Go grab some. Have some fun with them. Man, it's just all so frustrating. Let's take a look at some of these NFTs. This is my my little fun wallet where people throw different NFTs for me to look at. And I don't think I've seen this one. So we'll take a look at that. Yeah, I think I remembered that one. I know that there's Moon tokens. I don't think I've seen Moon token. So we'll check that out. I really wish these were organized by the time they hit the wallet. That would be a lot easier. Because I know there's some more, but I struggled to find the newest ones. I haven't seen this one yet. That looks cute. Winged Warriors. Let's check that out. All right, let's take a look at what we got in here. Yori Hart. King Power. Fox Fan 51. I'm not sure. I assume that this is a gentleman by the name of Yori who plays soccer. I'm not a big soccer fan. I like it, but I don't like watch it religiously. I'm definitely not going to go to a soccer game full of 50,000 people that are tearing the place up because their favorite team won. I'm not down to be a target for that. Moon tokens. Melting. What does that say? Melting Moons. Utility token for the Melting Moon Boy NFT project. That sounds cute. Oh, that graphic looks familiar. I like the cartoon. Melting Moon Boy. Let's see what that website looks like while that's transitioning or loading. Oh, that. Okay, yeah. I thought that looked cool. So they sent something else. That's cool. Thank you. Well, you got another website plug there, meltingmoonboy.io. I really love the art style to this. As I said before, I think it's super cute. You know what I really love is I love pixel art. I'm playing the new Octopath Traveler 2 on PS5, and I love it, man. I love the art style. I love pixel art, probably because I'm old, and this is how video games looked when I first started playing them. Anybody remember Maniac Mansion back in the day? One of my favorite games of all time. I wish they would redo Maniac Mansion in today's graphics, honestly, and like expand on it, make it bigger, because that was one of the most challenging but fun games. And even then, I was so young back then, it was such a creepy game, but I loved it. Winged Warriors number 188, pink skin, purple wings, torch, cool glasses, key lock. Oh, is this WWE related? Because it's a Winged Warriors. Okay, yeah. Well, you got to be careful with that logo because WWE might come checking for you. Because I looked at that, and I'm like, that looks like a WWE logo. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool. So there's a couple of them, and I checked that out before. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, these are all just well, some of them, like this is actually my own Freedom 16-bit. This is a 16-bit version of Freedom. I was working on creating more pixel art versions of my own Twisted Time series. But yeah, freedom, you get a metal plate over your mouth, you get a barcode tattoo, and you have to turn your guns over into this conveyor belt. That's freedom of the future. So yeah, fun times. All right, so I'm going to pull this aside. I'm going to leave up, oh yeah, and there's Soblox. Soblox just got another big update recently, so that now when you expand it, you don't, I wanted the right bar static. And of course, we're working on some fun things there. And then Wargrum, I've been working on this now for a while again, creating new art assets for more NFTs and things. But we're going to leave that on here, and then I'm going to go into the chat real quick and see what's going on, because I've got a whole bunch of text messages. Played Maniac Mansion on the Commodore 64. Best game ever. Yes, I did too. I had that SX64 with the little tiny screen about that big. I loved it. Man, I tell you what, going live and talking heavily really does wreck my head. I mean, it really does. And I've been off of this semaglutide now for a few weeks, and apparently it takes like 7 to 8 weeks to get out of your system. And boy, I still feel it. It really does wreck me. And I know people have been talking about an alternative to it with less side effects. And I need some, if you watch my channel, you're one of those people, let me know in the comments. I'll actually check, because I've been seeing it in passing, and I've just like, I'm willing to try it. And I have lost a lot of weight. I've lost 35 pounds. But man, it wrecks me. And even my wife is like, had enough, because I'm just like a big sourpuss. I'm sad. I'm like, I feel just tired. My head always feels super heavy. So anyway, Securities Exchange Crow. Yeah. Yep. I work too hard for my money just to have some engineers to throw things at the wall to see what sticks. Exactly. SEC is going after everyone these days. Crow, any update on Hydra? Nothing yet. I need to look it up and see what's coming. Maybe I'll have some Hydra updates tomorrow if I can find some. Here we Crow. Crow, thoughts on ADA and IOHK issue with China and Taiwan? No, I didn't know there were any issues. Jason GSTP, creator teasing Maniac Mansion remaster. Oh, they are? Are you serious? That would be so awesome. I would absolutely love it. I don't want remaster. I want it rebuilt from the ground up. I don't want just a cheesy remaster. Christian Torres, I told you before, Crow. What did you tell me? Cornucopias. Yeah, I'm very bullish on Cornucopias and everything that those guys have going on. Crow for SEC. You know what? I don't even think I'm smart enough to work for the SEC, if I'm honest. I mean, I don't know. There's something about the SEC that just creeps me out. They do. They creep me out. I feel like it's a bunch of financial wizards that, you know, I don't know. It creeps me out somehow. It's like, I would love to help and work with like, I don't know, man. You know, I'm at such a point in life where I want to help build, change things. And it's so frustrating because I don't know what to do or where to look. I really don't. I feel like I've been struggling for a while now, trying to, figure out, what do I want to do? Like, what do I want to be? Who do I want to be? I'm 45 and I don't know who I want to be. And, I feel like there's a big problem with being kind of a jack of all trades, master of none, which I basically consider myself. It's like you have nothing but opportunity and interest and all sorts of things that you can do and you like to do and you like to dabble here. It's just the same way I read a million books. It's like I'm always trying to learn 20 different things at once. And it's like my mind is constantly overloaded with so many different things. And it's just difficult to just, pick one and run with it and say, this is my identity. Right now, my identity is a crypto YouTuber. Is that what I want to be? Is that all I am? So yeah, it's just difficult. It really is. It's difficult. I don't know where to put all my time. Do I want to paint miniatures and play games? Do I want to open a game store? Do I want to open a, do I want to, I'm building my social media platform and I'm building this game. It's like, does that make me a game developer? Does it, I don't know. Not really. I'm not a developer. I'm not a programmer. I've got people that work for me that are doing that. And, I would love to play a role that helps clean up the crypto space, because I'm really burnt out on all the shit out there. I really am. I'm burnt out on all that. Crow's a 70s baby. That's gangsta. Oh yeah, I'm a 70s baby. All right. So yeah. If you do well in the next bull run, will you go back to Puerto Rico for 6 months? No, I won't. I'm done. I'm done with all that. I'm just gonna, I gave up. We moved from Puerto Rico. We didn't even take advantage of the tax benefit. I paid a 6-figure tax bill, and it wasn't fun, but at least I have working power, and I have, police that I can call if something goes wrong. I have, and boy, I tell you what, they've been tested here, because you call or an alarm goes off or whatever, man, it's like you got everybody in the world like at your door, like, you okay? Everything okay? It's like, yeah, sorry about that. So that's nice. That's very nice, because if something were to happen and we needed help or of any kind, it's what is saving a little money on taxes really do when you just can't get the help and the support that you need at a time you need it. I'm just like, what, I'm fine with paying I just want my taxes to be fair. That's all. I'm not against taxing. We need to pay taxes, but I'm against people having to pay so much in taxes that it just like can ruin people's lives, when all we're doing is printing ad nauseum and just shipping all this money off to all these places all over the world that mean absolutely nothing to the people here. That's what I have a problem with, but we can't control that unless we want to be politicians. And a jack of all trades, but the master of none is still better off than a master of none, is the complete saying. A jack of all trades and a master of none is still better than a master of none. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I get it. It's like, where do you really focus? What do you do? And it's like, I've gone into, since the very early days, everything I've learned, I've tried to share, and everything I do, I try to share, and I try to be very transparent and open about my thoughts on everything. And it's like, I want to help people, but I don't know how to help people. I don't know what to do. I told my wife, I said, listen, and we talk about this stuff a lot. And, there are a lot of things that I want to accomplish. And I see a lot of people out there, and they all look at this philanthropist. Look at this philanthropist. I'm like, these people, I feel like so much philanthropy is a joke. I feel like so much philanthropy is still very much self-serving in a variety of different ways. And I think so much of it is a joke, but, I want to genuinely figure out how to help people, but it's like, man, I don't know. I don't even really want to get into all that right now. Crypto Chef, is that the emoji for being a member? I need to look at that. That's cute. So anyway, all right. Well, we're 42 minutes in, and I saw somebody say, "Are you still a BitBoy fan?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I like Ben. I like his whole crew. I like everybody." I feel like sometimes when I go on around the block, I'm like, "Rawr," because I don't know how they want me to be. I want to give everybody a good time and a good show. And, I feel like because of the way it's all sectioned in time, I feel like I can't really get into thought. I have to just like throw a meme out, in a way. So I don't know, but yeah, I like Ben just fine. I think everybody, Ben's definitely changed over the years, but I think I consider Ben right now to be like in his championship fight days of his career, where you kind of have to keep in the zone. You have to know that everybody's gunning for you, and you have to keep your focus with some bravado, with some, a little attitude, a little spunk, and piss and vinegar. You know what I mean? Because that's what it takes to be at that level sometimes, especially if you're on a mission. And I've definitely noticed the way he's changed. I mean, but as long as he keeps his head clean and he's still trying to be a positive force in the space. I mean, he can bark and yell and go crazy, and I don't know, I find it entertaining too. I mean, I watch Ben a lot, so and more power to him. I mean, I'll tell you this, and through all these years, there have been a lot of different YouTubers that I've tried to help come up, when they were small. And, I tried to help different people in different ways. And some of them got really, really big. And then you never hear from them again. You know what I mean? They don't care. Now they're bigger than you. So they're just like, whatever. Right. And then you've got guys like Ben who blew the hell up before most. And, I could go on Ben's BitBoy. I could go on there anytime. I could be like, hey man, I really want to talk about something on your channel. Is that cool? He'd be like, yeah, set it up with what's his, and he never says like, oh no, I'm too big for you, Crow. We've been friends for a long time, but I'm on another level. You don't hear that kind of stuff from Ben. And, and it's like, I know that, I'm worried about his hubris. Listen, I understand, and I really do think that to some degree he's treading in dangerous waters. Like I'm not gonna say that because, but I don't. He's doing what he wants to do, and maybe he's found his legacy. Maybe this is the role that he has defined himself as being most equipped for. Because I tell you right now, there's a lot of stuff he doesn't seem to care about that I would just be like shaking all the time. Like I don't have the temperament for that kind of stuff. I don't have the temperament for like real drama anymore. I don't have the temperament for, looking over my shoulder all the time because I'm outing this guy. I'm outing on your channel when she had 1,500 followers. Yeah, I never hear anything from Wendy. I mean, I don't have any problem with her or anything, but I don't ever hear a word from Wendy anymore. I don't even know, like it's whatever. But yeah, I've had her on a few times and we had fun and she's cool, you know what I mean? But a lot of these people, they get so big and then just like, I've never had an invite. She's never said, Crow, come on my channel, let's talk Cardano. Like I don't hear from anybody anymore. So it's like, I get it. It's people get busy and it's just like, I'm sure it's nothing personal, but I don't really sweat it. Answering investor guy James loves Soul and he's a Cardano hater. What a shame. Well, yeah, because you can't, they'll learn. I mean, maybe not. If they haven't learned by now, then they probably won't. But it is what it is. Crow, you're more than just a YouTuber to us. Never forget it. Much love. Well, thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. Do you think Ethereum will always remain the dominant smart contract platform? No, not long term. Like by the end of this peak, I'm sure it'll probably still be dominant. But I don't think so. I think Cardano is going to end up the dominant one. I really, really do. And like I said, I don't think that's going to happen by the peak of this current cycle. But it's definitely coming. It is what it is. Will you be keeping up the regular lives, Jason? Great to see them. What's up, Cardano with Paul? Yeah, I definitely think so. Now that I have high speed and I can just plug it in when I want to go live, I'm going to start doing regular lives. And I'm going to start doing more appearances on other people's channels and things as well, because I have had a lot of requests. But with my crappy internet, my 20 meg internet, it was just not possible. So now I can actually start doing a lot of that stuff. And yeah, I will be for sure. ICP is amazing and not hyped or loved. I've talked about ICP. I did a recent video about it. So yeah, got to get to work, Crow. Have a great day. Thank you. You too. And yeah, on that note, it's 48 minutes, just kind of hanging out. I'm going to get back to work because I've got plenty of stuff to do. So thanks for joining me, guys. Hit the like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We should hook up sometime. Be great to have you on mine for a chat anytime.